accusation that I'm sure all atheists face at one time or another is that we are dogmatically against the idea that God exists, that we can never be convinced that there's a God, that we're inflexible. And they're at least partially right. For my part, at least, I'll never believe in a God the way they've been trying to convince me one exists. Oh, I can be convinced in other ways, just not the way they've been trying. Let me state at the outset that I'm a skeptic. I'm not ever 100% convinced that something exists or that a proposition is true. I might be convinced to 99.99999%, but I will always hold out the possibility, however small, that I might be wrong, and in the face of new evidence, I will change my mind. So with that said, I can be effectively convinced that something is in fact the case. Existence, however, of something that goes beyond mere concept or philosophy, something external to my brain, something that has an effect on the physical world, has to be proved scientifically. You'll have to provide objective, empirical evidence that your God exists, or I'm sorry, but I'm just not on board. If your God can flood the earth, impregnate virgins, turn water to wine, or resurrect people, he's had an effect on the physical world and is therefore a matter for science. Scientifically prove that those things happened, with evidence that I can examine for myself, and I'll at least start to consider the possibility of a God. Show me actual evidence of that God's existence, and not just evidence of the things he's alleged to have done, and you'll get me even closer. There! I've shown I'm not inflexible. You'll just have to eliminate faith as a factor and prove to me that your God exists scientifically. It's not so hard, is it? Now it's my turn. Religious people, are you inflexible? Can you be convinced that your God does not exist? What would it take for you to change your minds? Can you ever be convinced that religion is just made up and your God never existed in the first place? Under what circumstances could you be made to realize that you've just been following a fairy tale? If your answer is no, if you will always believe that a God exists no matter what, then consider this. If your God isn't real, you're worshiping nothing. You're completely wasting your time, your effort, your emotions, your money, everything. How does it make sense to live for a lie than to face the truth? How does that make any sense? A matter like this is simply too important to cling dogmatically to your position. Belief or non-belief just affects too many aspects of our lives. So please, don't run on automatic. Instead, think.